Well, hey there, fabulous authors. Thank you so much for joining me today. I wanted to pop in and talk to you about something that I am working on right now. And this affects how you are working with book bloggers, with booktubers, and with interviewers. And that is the fact that a lot of these people are asking you the exact same questions. So what do you do when people ask the same questions over and over and over again? Because with these interviews, your goal is to get as much life out of it as possible. Your fans need a reason to go check out these interviews. And if it's the same thing over and over and over again, they're not going to. So what do you do as an author to get your fans over to these interviews, to give them a reason to be there, to get new information when everyone wants to know the same three things? So here's my tip for you. As you are doing these interviews, as you are answering questions, as you're talking to people, and they are giving you the same canned questions, do not give them all of the details. You still have to answer the question that they're asking, and you want to be able to give them a good story, and you want to be able to give them information, but you do not have to tell them the entire story. You don't have to hit every single point that happened within this story as you are giving it to one person. Save some details. When you hold some stuff back, you're going to have more to spread around to different people. So when the same 8 people ask you, how did you start writing? Save some of those details. Give maybe 2 or 3 details to the first person, then give details 1 and 2, but a different detail 3 to the next person, then give one of the same answers, but 2 new answers, or rotate it out so you have 3 facts about your stories, point A, B, and C, and you just give A and B every time, and C is always different. If you hold back a fact or 2 and then give those out to different people, that gives a new spin on your story or a little bit of added information. So if you're talking about your character and you want to get real in-depth about some behind-the-scenes stuff of one of your characters, do not tell them everything. Tell them one unique thing and then some stuff that other people know. And then you can keep those unique things to give to different people, and eventually you'll have to rotate back to it because you only have so many details per story. But when you hold some of that back, it gives you a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit more to play with, and then it gives your fans a reason to go read that interview. Now here's one more tip I want to give you. As you are doing this, when you're holding some of this information back, you can also cross-promote and help out some people. So I just did an interview, well, not an interview, a live question and answer over on my author page. And I had somebody write in, they asked me a question, and I had answered a little bit of it. There was a little bit of the detail that I wanted to share in an interview that I had done with a book blogger last week. And so in addressing this question, I thanked the person for asking, and then I said, this is kind of similar to something I answered in another interview, and I redirected people to that interview. Now, the interview question in the blog was not the same as the one asked for my live broadcast, but it did kind of work together. So I gave that blogger a shout out. I linked it in my title, but if I were doing a written interview on a blog, I would link back to it. And I would say this is kind of like an interview I did with this person last week, and this is how this answer plays into it, but here's the direct answer for yours. So very specifically, I said, I did an interview with this book blogger. The intro to that is kind of my intro to your question here. Go find out more information over there, and then this is how it applies to your answer, and I specifically answered what she wanted. I gave a shout out to that book blogger. I gave the fans somewhere else to look, and I maybe made some connections. I got people to go back and look. I gave a little bit of this detail to this person and a little bit of the detail to this person, and both stories were complete stories, but they had a little bit of overlap, and they had a little bit of crossover, but they were each unique, and they had their own separate point. So I made sure that I did that kind of crossover thing where I redirected to other people. And when I am doing other interviews, if it comes up again, I can then go to this question that I just answered and give them a shout out. So if you kind of cross promote with this, if you do some overlapping, you can make some new friends, you can get people connected with each other, and you can get them looking at your other interviews. So my tip is to hold back details and give one unique thing to every single person that you are talking to. Now, if this has been helpful to you, jump onto www.readingtransforms.com, where you have access to our online communities, our courses, our resources, our tutorials, our videos, our articles, and the amazing projects that we're working on over at Reading Transforms. And you can also jump onto community.readingtransforms.com, which is my closed Facebook group. I'm there every day teaching you how to beat the social media algorithms that keep bogging down your posts and keeping your fans from seeing what you're posting. We're talking about marketing your books, we're talking about branding your brand, reaching out to your fans, engaging them, and then getting them to work smarter and harder for you while still having a lot of fun and really, really engaging with you. It's wonderful. We've got a great supportive group. I hope you'll join me, community.readingtransforms.com. Now, if you want to check out that interview that I did over on my author page and how I did it, how I threw it back to that book blogger, you can go over to facebook.com/KMRobinsonBooks, and you can check out what I just did. That'll be up on my YouTube channel as a replay a little bit later, and I will link in the show notes once both of these videos are on replay. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you guys had a fabulous day. And if you have questions on this, drop comments below. Let me know in the show notes. Let me know in the chat box here. I'm happy to answer these for you. I cannot wait to see what you're going to be doing with this. Link me, tag me, show me what you're doing as you are doing these different interviews, how you're holding back some of this information and kind of spreading the love there, and then cross-promoting with your other interviews. I cannot wait to see what you are doing. You guys have a fabulous day. Stay inspired.